So you're at step number 2, which is I need to form a business, but what type of business should I form? You know what? There are a lot of businesses out there, a lot of different structures to how you form your business and how you get to where you want to get to. If you're just starting off your business and you don't have very much money, I only want you to think about 4 of them. 4 different types, and it's kind of a spectrum of different types. Now, if you remember back, we talked about there's 2 reasons why you form a business: tax reasons and liability reasons. Okay, those are the only 2 reasons why we form businesses. Well, there might be other reasons, but those are the 2 main reasons that we form business. So on the scale, we're going to start off with the no liability protection business, which the types of businesses, to liability protection businesses. Okay. So the 4 different types are: first, a sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship is the guy who did what I told you to do, and he just went out and started running his business. And he's doing it by himself. That's why we call it sole proprietorship, because it's by yourself. The second type is called a partnership. That's when 2 people or multiple people get together and they run a business. The third type is an LLC, a limited liability company. And that is the most popular form of business, and I'll get to why that is in just a second. And the last is a corporation. For the purposes of this video, corporation is not something we're going to talk about, because if you're forming a corporation, you need to go talk to an attorney, because that is really complex and the tax implications involved in that are very complicated. And the reason why is corporations have a double taxation. Now, the tax structure of a corporation can be good for a small business under certain circumstances, but you need to talk to someone who knows what they're talking about. But let's go to a sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship, you're just out there, you just go do it. Just start running your business. You're a sole proprietorship. If that's how you've been running your business, you're a sole proprietorship. Number 2, a partnership. The worst decision you'll make in your life, a partnership. A partnership is where you and your buddy, you go and you do something really fun and you think to yourself, let's do this. Let's form a business and let's do this. And then you get into a marriage with your best friend that ends in divorce 99% of the time. Because what happens? Well, partnerships deal with personality types. There's vast array of reasons why partnerships are such a horrible idea, but people do them anyway. And under certain circumstances, it might work. I would probably come talk to someone like me with you and your partner, and I'm going to sit down and I'm going to run you guys through a personality test to see if this thing's going to actually work out, because literally it is like a marriage. You are marrying your best friend, because now you share finances. Now you have to be around each other all the time. Now one of you is going to be nagging the other one. Try to tell them what to do all the time. And so it's going to be a marriage. And it might work, it might not work. Partnerships work when certain personality types get together. LLC. Now this is probably where you're going to go form your business. Now why is that? Well, sole proprietorships and partnerships have one really good advantage to them, and that is they have pass-through tax implications, meaning the taxation goes straight to the person and there is one tax. All right? There's only going to be one tax applied, unlike a corporation. Corporation's the other side, where we're going to have 2 taxation levels. The corporation will be taxed, and then when the money's distributed, it'll be taxed again at the income tax rate of the individual. You think, well, why would anyone form a corporation? Well, because sole proprietorships and partnerships don't have liability protection. What was that? That means if your buddy goes out and you have a partnership, and he tells someone, this actually happened, he tells one of the guys that they're working with, hey, you climb up that ladder with that chainsaw and cut that limb off there. And the dutiful employee gets up there and he's sawing off the limb, and then he slips off and falls on the chainsaw and it kills him. all of a sudden you now have responsibility for that personally because you never formed a business. Yeah, that's not something I want to be involved in either. So sole proprietorships, the first two we talked about, sole proprietorships and partnerships, have no liability protection. So that is why people don't like to run their businesses that way. They want the C-Corp. They want liability protection, but they don't want double taxation. Well, I believe it's Wyoming, and this would be the only good thing that ever came out of Wyoming, but I believe it was Wyoming that said, hey, why don't we create something that gives both liability protection and pass-through tax benefits? And they called it a limited liability company. And boom, formed this thing that almost every new small business forms that, because you get both of the things. You get pass-through taxes and you get liability protection. And so that is the 4 types. Now, as you can see, if you were sitting there and you generally understood what I was talking about, okay, then you might be able to do the next thing, and that is just go form it yourself and what you need.